Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Sergio Dominguez with another audio commentary for season 31 of the Sergio Show. Oh my gosh, 31. Okay. So after episode 300 was finished in June of 2023 and released in August of 2023, well, after finishing it in June of 2023, episode 300, I decided to take the rest of the year off from just anything content related. No episodes of the show, no movie, no other projects I had coming up. Just take the other half of the year of 2023 just to calm down and reflect, because the last 3 years of making 100 episodes and also these other projects was so much that I needed a break. I needed such a long break from working for so many months and really years of the show, this other project. So when I got to the year 2024, I was starting the year off nice and fresh and happy, and let's see how this goes. And the year started rough. Honestly, all of 2024 was so rough for me that it affected the production of the show, because after episode 300, I decided to not only, reflect and calm down, but I also wanted to now that I finished 300 in 2023, I have now this average of I can do 20 episodes a year. That's what I always want to do, 20 episodes a year. So I finally got to that average. So when I got to 2024, I'm like, I can just do nice 20 episodes instead of less than that, or what I've done the last couple of years more than that, because of those gaps, if you know the history of the show and stuff. So I was like, yes, 2024, I only have to do 20 episodes, no more, no less. And I have this nice fresh year, and also have these other projects I can do while doing this. This year, it's going to be fine. No, it wasn't. 2024 was not a good year for me. Just a lot of personal things going on that left me so overwhelmed that I couldn't really work on the show consistently. So I was, at the time that I was starting up season 31, I started episode 301, this episode, in March 2024. And it took long, it took a week, but it was like a slow week. And I think the weeks took a month, within the span of a month, I'm trying to remember. It's been a while. But yeah, this episode was fun. There were some attempts that I didn't really continue throughout the rest of the 2 seasons. Is that the frame rate is 24 frames a second instead of the usual 12 frames per second. I wanted to try that since it's like I said, not 20 episodes. Not since it's only 20 episodes. Yeah, this was overwhelming to remember the whole 20 episodes. We'll get to it though, but yeah, I wanted to try something different. 24 frames for this episode. And I because of lack of funding, monitored, like always, the lip sync since the last 10 years. But it took a while. This episode took a while because of it. And things around me were getting really tough that I just couldn't really work on the show like that. 24 frames and all this extra stuff. So when I did finish this episode, it was a fun episode to make. I wanted to be like a little training video. See how it goes, and it was fun, but it took a while, and it was a lot to work on, and I got other things that were affecting me at the time that really held back from being really fun. And there was another plan that I had with this, since again only 20 episodes. I thought, maybe I can just make the episode and actually release it, because usually when I make an episode of the show, I would schedule it and then release it. So the time that it took from finish to release, I would have time to make more. So when I upload the episode, I wouldn't have any more. So when I would, finish an episode, I would have more coming up and all that stuff. That was the original plan. But getting personal things in the way changed all that. So I released episode 301 on, I think, the show's anniversary. But that was, in April. But then episode 302 to 320 were just thrown at the end of the year. Yeah, the mic got cut off in this moment. So yeah, the first 10 episodes were released in like late October or late November in the span of 2 weeks. While the other 10 episodes were just released all at once sometime early December. But yeah, this was fun but really tough. And it was a mess. To the point where after I did 301, I looked at all the episodes, all 20 or 19 that I had left, and try to figure out what's going on. And there were honestly some episodes that I'm willing to work on, but then there were other episodes I decided not to work on, and there were some episodes that I just pushed back because I thought, oh, this is a fun episode to work on, but I think it's so overwhelming I don't want to do it. Sergio, it might be too complicated. This wasn't one of them. This was in the original lineup. There were some things in episode 300 I didn't get to, and I was like, this is taking so long. I want to have it done. I want it released. You know, so I was like, that's it for 300. This idea, I'll keep it as an extra thing for the episode. And that's what ended up happening for this episode, 302, the Aftermath. Thank you. And you can see the frame rate's a little bit different. Maybe how I
now to put all the
again, I went back to
okay, take the shot.
To 12 frames per second, and there was a lot of shots. Yeah, the quality of the show was like really cut because it just didn't have so much going on. But I wanted to release 20 episodes. I want to see what it's like making 20 episodes in 1 year. I thought it would be easy. It should have been.
Now to put the epic
technically, it should have been, but it was so much going on that I had to scrap episodes, push off episodes, and just rethink about ideas for episodes and work from there. And I'll bring up something else. So originally, what I would do is work on these episodes in order. So I did 301 first, 302 second.
Well, everybody,
but
thank you very much for watching.
Then something happened when we'll get to the next episode where I had to
right after episode 300. Shouldn't this
stop what I was doing with 303 and just do something else and do other episodes and stuff.
I'm getting confused. Let me just sign off. Thank you very much for watching. I am Sergio Dominguez.
I'm just reflecting. This was a tough year. These are some tough 2 seasons that honestly were fun, but it was in between a lot of stuff, and it took longer than it should have. It took longer than it should have. I'm just trying to remember what's going on. Oh yeah, this was a simple episode, but I'm glad I brought up some extra stuff for episode 300 with this one. Okay, this episode. Now, it's the 3rd episode released, but it wasn't the 3rd episode made and completed. There was a point in production where I'm like, you know, I put Dragon Sergio in 300. What if he has his own episode? So I thought that'd be fun, and I had ideas of like what dragons have been used in like pop culture and stuff.
Oh, hey everybody, how's it going? I'm
there
Dragon
was
Sergio,
a classic
and you're
theme park
invited
attraction
to
that
my
had a
little
tiny
journey where I
dragon.
go on adventure to the destination called the creativity of the mind area. Now, this device powered with the creativity of the mind.
But when I was
through the air
working on it, the first thing I did was I reworked, mostly re-rigged Dragon Sergio, because Dragon Sergio originally in 300 was just a still image.
All right, everybody.
Mostly.
Here we
go.
So
I ended up trying to re-rig it for other things and try to give it more of a dragon look and feel. But
wow, this is getting really
while I was
boring.
rigging it,
you know, in times like this, especially if we go faster, I like to sing a song about the creativity.
This is taking too long. I'm not seeing any progress, and I got other things going on.
Creativity of the mind
and work on other episodes.
Creativity of the mind.
And I was looking at just all 20 episodes. And I just realized
creativity of
a good portion of them I don't want to make because it looks like a lot to work on. So there were moments where I had to just rethink of episodes on the spot, think of other ideas for episodes that could be easy and quick to make,
that can make money,
and see if I could go back to some of the other episodes quickly as possible. And I had to cut back a lot.
Oh, isn't it catchy?
Like monitoring my lip sync. Like the character's being lip sync is being animated, but it's automatically with Toon Boom. Usually I would have it go through Toon Boom, but then look over and pick frames. In this case, for the last 19 out of the 20, I didn't do it.
And
like, no,
here he is.
This is taking too long. This is a funny gag. I love this one.
I'm practically ready.
Not yet. You need a little bit of this.
A little bit of this.
Oh, what is that?
Again, like that character should have a mouth. Oh, there you go. That character should have a mouth, but I just like no. There's some characters that I don't want to give mouths to, and you're going to see that throughout the last 20 episodes. You know, I thought because it's only 20, I could do more, but I ended up doing less. That was frustrating. That was unfortunate.
What? I forgot to bring snacks. Besides, I was low and fat.
Still, everything conveyed just properly, just fine.
Let's keep going. Creativity.
One thing, because dragons also, I had to cut back on this. Dragons have like obviously
and we're almost there, folks. Oh, the creativity of
smooth movement in their necks, you know, like
that's right.
Like
we got
dragons
the
do,
creativity of the mind.
Long necks, little
also full
snake-like.
disclaimer.
Same
I'm
thing
a
with
dragon,
the tail,
but I don't have any
didn't have time to rig it, to really
breath.
rig it to give it that movement. So that's why its neck is just like so stiff and the tail is so stiff because I couldn't rig any
fire breath.
pegs.
We'll see. Anything's possible with the creativity of the mind.
Neck-like movement a dragon would have.
And we're here.
You know?
The creativity of the mind.
So there you go. Yeah, and I thought, okay, after making a couple episodes and coming back to this one, okay, fine, we'll work
What's going on?
Ended up being quicker than I thought, but then again, I rushed it
of the mind
and just cut back on a lot of things.
And it's going to be torn
but
down
it still
and made
came
into
off pretty well
a theme park
for what it was.
And
that is
a fantastic
honestly,
idea.
I think it
Nothing says creativity of the mind than creating an even better area to express that creativity of the mind.
I thought I was worried when I take
now
longer.
to go back home.
No, not bad.
And now it's also the time for me to sign off. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Dragon.
I think it was also
Thank you very much for watching.
Episode.
I am.
Yeah, there was going to be like a cloud,
have an animated
and some other thing. There's also other obstacles.
Creativity of the mind. Creativity of the mind. It's special when you use the creativity of the mind. It has a lot of power, a lot of stuff, a lot of interesting things, and stuff has been made with the creativity of the mind. Thanks to lots and lots of money. Creativity of the mind. Creativity of the mind. Oh, it's time for creativity of the mind.
If you know what I'm parodying, you get But it ended up being fun through a tough time. I didn't expect it to be that smoothly, but it happened. It happened. Just prepare myself to see what... Yeah, I'm looking at my list of episodes, and my gosh, I just went through a different approach production-wise, and the next episode is one of them.
Sergio Studios.
Alright, this episode. This episode originally was gonna be me going to the beach, but I don't know if I had any fun ideas for the beach for now, or even record anything. But I thought, you know what? It's too much. I don't want to draw a beach. I don't want to draw me even in a bathing suit. So I was like, no, I'll scrap it. I'm gonna try. What's a kind of episode that'll be easy to make? Not only an episode easy to make. This was something I was also going through. I was watching a lot of internet videos, a lot of different kinds of internet videos, and I was trying to see what kind of internet videos inspire me to make an episode of the show. And this was one of them, these try-on clothes. People would try on different clothes. So I thought this would be easy because some clothes I can just draw and some I can just bring from the creative archive. Like you saw Clown Sergio and this one. I do love that design so much I want to bring it back. This was a very quick episode to make. Fortunately, I was like, I have to make an episode quick. This was one of them. You know, where I didn't have to do that much lip sync. There was a lot of improv. I think I wrote an outline and recorded it, edited the audio, and just like this animation shot. It ended up being a nice long episode for it. Very streamlined, a lot more streamlined than the other ones, but it still came out well. Thought it had some funny jokes. Try to squeeze in some of that comedy under the limitation that I had. But yeah. Brought a lot of these things out of the Toon Boom library. And and all that stuff. So yeah, this was the best I could do. This was also later in production after I did a couple other episodes. I was like, well, let me get to this. Let me do this. Mm-hmm.
But I have a feeling a version of me
yeah. I mostly animated the camera moving around,
Speaking of
and also I think I used a lot of editing tools too. Yeah, a lot of editing tools. A little bit of a nod here and a wink, and arm movements to keep it a little bit more lively. Because I know these videos, they would have the actual person talking, but in this case, I gotta narrate this. I'm not animating myself talking what I'm wearing. Yeah, and also, yeah, you see some transition effects. Again, reused assets. I had to go through archives also. But yeah, this is a modest episode under all these limitations.
Here's an outfit I have worn before. It's the dress suit with bow tie outfit. If I want to go to a movie premiere of a movie I've made not yet, I would wear this. Or go out to a nice fancy party or sophisticated dancing or something. Then here we go, a nice outfit where I can just, with a nice top hat and cane, I can
some nice awkward pausing. It's just
outfit experience.
Yeah, I'm trying to take this in because when I made these episodes, I was like, no, I'm done. I don't want to get back to it. Yeah, this is an editing effect. I think I took 2 different versions of this video and used a green screen effect and then took that suit, that part, and just used a pixelation effect. So I did get to play a lot with editing, more than animation. And it came out pretty well.
Whoa!
Yeah, a little bit of drawing of that. So going back to these episodes, I was like, oh, it took a while for me to muster up a commentary for this, because it was a tough, messy time, but I'm glad I made it. I ended up making it just in time, but man, it took a while. I started production early March, and I didn't finish until mid-October.
And that was this episode.
And really, yeah, it sounded like I worked on it for, 7 months? 8 months? But really, I checked my calculations. I really worked on it, all 20 episodes, in 108 days. It was just 108 days in under 7 months of just other things going on. Slowing things down and just scrapping episodes, reworking some of them. So it was a very tough time. But I'm glad this one was quick. Out of all the other tough episodes, this one was sort of smooth.
Sergio Studios.
Alright, this episode, my gosh. So this one originally was going to be the aftermath of episode 300, but I pushed it up early and had another idea of what if I do video chat again, but have it be me with the other Sergios doing video chat, and also be a little bit of a reflection of episode 300 of we don't want this happening again, so let me talk to me with all these memes that you see right now. Now, when I was getting to this episode, I was like, this is going to be tough. This is going to be complicated. I'm not going to work it. This ended up not being the 4th or follow episode that I did right away. I ended up pushing it back and again working on other easier to make episodes because I thought this was going to take a long time. I love these gags so much. These gags is what made me want to do the episode, because I thought, how are they chatting with each other, especially classic Sergio and dinosaur Sergio. And I love the last 2. Oh man, that's how it would happen. Oh my gosh, I love both of those. Those are my favorite jokes in the whole 2 seasons. I'm how would they talk to each other?
Okay, great.
How would they video chat? And led to some funny creative visual gags, and those were the jokes I was the most proud of.
No.
Now for this approach,
okay, that's good.
So when I finally got to this episode, it ended up being quick. It took 4 days. And how I did this was, I just had one big chunk of audio of the whole thing from beginning to end, and I just animated all these Sergios in real time reacting to each other. Yeah. So the Sergio you see on top also had dialogue of all the other Sergios, but I didn't animate his mouth. I had to listen to it when he has to stop and animate when he has to talk. And that went for all the other Sergios. They each got their own whole animated video that you see. I think this episode is like, what, 3-4 minutes long? So exporting each one, which is like a 3-minute video in real time, was a little bit technically tedious. But it ended up still coming together in like less than 4 or 5 days. I'm still surprised how quick this was. With all the techniques I never did. And also just like resizing them and placing them, because they all got put together through the editing program, ultimately. So they were their own videos in the software and the animation software, exported as these videos, and then I had to put them all together in the editing software. You know, put Sergio in the top middle, and you see each of them just disappearing. So there was a lot of help with the editing software, Magic's Movie Edit Pro 2014, to help me get through it. But it was very creative and imaginative. You know, when it got to animating dinosaurs, Sergio, animating like that, and all that stuff. As for those bits with the computer, they got their own little chunk, their own little like scene each, since it was just a couple of seconds each. But as for everybody else, they didn't get to be animated until they got to speak, so I had to animate little bits of them looking around. It was a lot going on, but it ended up being a surprisingly fun episode that I ended up pushing off because I thought it was too much. And I'm not being too much, it ended up being a lot of fun. A surprisingly fun, well put together episode that everybody enjoyed. So that was interesting. That was fun. Okay, so for this episode, originally, it was gonna be Chunky going to the vet, my dog child, Chunky. But I honestly couldn't think of any fun ideas. I had a couple, but not enough to make an episode, and I didn't want to animate Chunky for the time being. For what I can remember, I think later on he's an episode. Yeah, he did. Okay, yeah, he did it later on, but in this case, I didn't want to animate him going to the vet. So with this episode, I was like, this was one of the ideas where I was like, I don't want to do it. Let me think of something else from in that moment. So while I was dealing with some stuff, I thought about the big controversial issue of AI. And I wanted to poke fun of it, even though it's been a poked fun of subject for such a time. And yeah, it was a poked fun of thing. So
how about a square?
I wanted to do a comedic take on it. So my comedic take was, okay, since this human world we're dealing with is dealing with artificial intelligence, is like robots and things doing this for us. What about in the robot universe that I created, what if we deal with natural intelligence? Artificial intelligence, natural intelligence, huh? And it worked from there, and I thought it was fun. Bringing back Robot Sergio in this world and stuff. So that was the idea with that. And it came with a lot of fun ideas. And this is a pretty lengthy episode too. It was like 5 minutes or so. And it had a lot of fun ideas. I just thought, okay, so if robots had natural intelligence, what would they think of? And this is me just doing the opposite of what people were doing, which is they were thinking insane creative things and nutty things. So I'm just like, they would think very rudimentary things and admire the naturalness of it. Since it's the opposite of how we're handling AI and just like, this is controversial, but how people are handling it. And I wanted to add something a little bit more. Originally, it was going to be just some random person doing this, being the natural intelligence. But then I thought, what if it was Sergio? But I didn't want it to be the Sergio from the actual show. So it'd be fun if there was a twist that this Sergio's a type version of a Sergio that no one's ever seen before, that never had the life of the Sergio show. Not just that, but never creative life. So it ended up being a good thing for him to be, he's saved here in this case, and treated properly and all that stuff. And have it be a little bit of the message of natural intelligence and artificial intelligence and treating it properly. So I thought this was a really clever episode. Very clever episode. When I got to this scene, it was a little bit tough because I thought maybe it would be too much and stuff, but I thought, no, it came out really fine. Just fine. The camera movements are very wonky in this, oddly enough, but I don't know why. When I was animating, I was like, why is it going like that? But it is what it is. But this is a very well done episode for being also so simple. It was a very creative, clever episode about what we're talking about, but taking a different edge and idea and perspective and adding some lore to the show. Honestly, yeah. Very, very fun idea. And again, I didn't want to animate lip sync, so everybody has light up mouths. I thought that would be a fun idea. How can you catch a lip sync from lights in a mouth? So I thought that was also simple. I also want to be sure that all the robots are nice. I didn't want to add any backstory of, oh, they're evil. I don't want that because I already used that idea for Animal Sergio, Sergio the Hippo and that part and that arc, if you know that. So I gotta make sure that they are nice and friendly and hopeful and stuff. So yeah.
In our world. So, in some way, we're trying to turn the
just take a quick drink. Yeah, it's a lot going on in this episode. But it came out also really quick. A 5-minute episode, one of the longer episodes of the last 20 episodes. But came out really quick, like 4 or 5. Since I just had to focus on certain specific movements. The effects of the drawing was... I thought that animating him drawing was going to be tough, but it came out really well. A little bit of like erasing, copy and paste the same drawing, but erase a little bit, reverse it, and stuff, that kind of effect. And also, since this Sergio was going to be slightly different, well, a lot different, I decided to make his shirt a slightly different blue color.
Huh, what a magical thing this natural intelligence has. Well, everybody, that's all for this episode of The Sergio Show. Thank you very much for watching. I am Robot Sergio, saying, have an animated day.
So... But still, I was amazed. This was one of those episodes where I thought of it in the moment, because a lot of the ideas for episodes I already wrote, like, in advance, but when I got to them, again, these are one of the episodes where I was like, no, let me think of something else in the moment.
Sergio Studios.
Alright, this episode, Alien Sergio, taking over the planet. So this is an episode that I kept in because I like Alien Sergio a lot when I designed him for episode 300. So I was like, yeah, you know what? I want to explore this character. There's, a lot of aliens in satire and pop culture and stuff, so I wanted to poke fun of aliens. So I have Alien Sergio, I like his design. And it was also fun animation-wise too, because again, I don't have to focus on the lip sync, and I just have to make like funny babbling alien noises. So I just thought of ideas of what aliens can do, and this one I'm like, let's have Alien Sergio take over a planet and have it not work and stuff. So it was like a lot of these ideas and me making noises, and this was again one of a fun episode to make. So I was like, yeah, let's do this. Let's do some fun ideas for planets too, like an interior cube. Wow. Okay. Yeah, very straightforward. Took a lot of the assets from episode 300 for this one. With Alien Sergio already made the spaceship, might as well use it. So everything came out just fine. Let's see. So I had a lot of movements of just Alien Sergio just moving around. And his lip sync is just like the beams in his antennas. He doesn't use his mouth for anything. For now. I to do just some fun tweening, and it was a lot of like that one. That one's funny. He has like a robotic arm. I think there were some rejected jokes, but I don't remember at the moment. Alien is planet. Yeah, I think I rushed this one too. Maybe it took a couple of days too. Yeah. Since he's an alien, I didn't have to worry too much about like any not frame, but rig issues.
Well, that's all for this episode of the Sergio Show.
Look at me
I
go.
am Alien Sergio saying.
And another idea for him too, and I thought it was fun. Yeah. So this is a very modest episode. I have another idea working with him later on. Okay, this episode. Oh yeah, originally this was going to be a compilation of gags of camera rigs, but I couldn't think of anything funny. So again, like I said earlier, I went to looking at internet videos for more ideas, and what I noticed that there were so many different kinds are overhead camera rigs. So many different internet personalities are like, okay, let me show you how you can over-rig your camera so you can have those overhead videos and those videos. I'm like, what? There's, you can buy them, these overhead camera rigs, but they keep saying, and I've checked, they're expensive. So many videos of showing you so many different ways how you can cheaply set up your overhead camera setup. It's an oddly specific thing, but I thought it was so funny how so many different people that I never heard of just like had idea to like set up your camera so the camera's pointing down so you can, I don't know, do a drawing time lapse or open a box, and I just had some funny, outrageous ideas, as you can see. And this is my favorite one coming up.
You want to know how I did it?
To have it outdoors. So this is also one of my favorite jokes. Very funny, very well done. It was a weird animation thing to do to go from, because that was all one shot of going from Sergio to the moon.
If you're wondering why we didn't use the sun,
it came out really well. That mouth on the moon was a mouth I did before. Oh, I love this joke too! I love this joke so much. Originally, it was going to be a more fleshed out design character, but I changed him to an astronaut simply because I didn't have time to really do lip sync or draw any designs specifically. So just let it be a simple astronaut. Again, that was a funny one. And I get to reuse some camera assets and camera rigs that I drew a long time ago. And also again with the transitions of the editing software. And funny gags, look, it's lying up there. Yeah. So this ended up being also one of my favorites. That I again thought up in the moment and recorded. This is also one of my favorites. I love how creepy it is. I love how creepy it is. It's supposed to be creepy because all this is like a rigged version of you just holding the camera. So why don't you have a weird being doing that? And I was proud of that one. The lines of the clothing, I forgot to draw them initially, so I had to draw them digitally. It's like, what does his shirt and pants look like? Because I realized, which just looks weird if it's all just one color. But I'm glad I ended on that amazing joke. A lot of good jokes in this one. This was one of my favorite episodes of the season and of the last 20 episodes. Yeah. I'm glad this one was quick and I got to do some fun with my limitations and some nice fun gags. Love the moon, love the sun burning up, and wow, yeah. And this was a reflection of so many videos of people just showing you how to just have your camera point down. It's nuts.
Sergio Studios.
Nuts. Alright, 309, it's one of those episodes where I already thought of it, and I put it on the list, and I hadn't changed it. So it got kept. It got kept into production. So I got to this one. I was like, okay, how the dinosaur Sergio sleeping? So again, dinosaurs have been used in pop culture a lot, and there was a popular movie that came out decades ago, and I wanted to poke fun of it. So I decided to poke fun of it, but I didn't want to poke fun of it too much when it comes to like how accurate it was to the movie. So I just kept the concept and just re-execute everything else of like, hey, how about they see Dinosaur Sergio as dangerous? And what if it was a dream and stuff? So I quickly drew these characters, and I had to simply rig them. So this one was also quick, even though this had multiple characters. But I had to, again, simply rig the character and stuff. With, you see the arms pegged and all that stuff. So, yeah, close-up shots and all that stuff. So this was simple. Very surprisingly simple. Again, I think I didn't work on it right away. I think this was also one of the episodes pushed back because I thought it'd be a lot. So I had to just rush it and just go like, let's do this. But still, I think it came out pretty well. The performances and the designs of the characters are funny, and the jokes are really funny. So that was the idea with this episode. It's a little bit grim, but I was like, I had to make this a dream. It's like, how do I have this happen but not happen? Make it a dream, and also make it somehow the dream plausible. It almost makes sense just because Dinosaur Sergio has been to, modern times a couple times, and the series. Excuse me, talking for a while does that. How's it going? A lot of reuse shots and simple rigging. All that. This was really put together in the editing. But you got the idea. If you know what movie I'm talking about, you know. I like that dinosaur drew. Yeah, but again, he was just one drawing with a peg and just did that. Oh, that one was so cruel. He saved him, but he was still treated badly. Oh, man. So it is a little bit sadder, but, it's a bad dream. So I guess it worked. And, again, plausible with both this animated world and what Dinosaur Sergio has been through, if you've seen the series. Yeah, look at the poor guy. Look at him. I do like the joke at the end. I don't know how I was going to animate it. It's one of those things I never animated before, but it came out surprisingly well. Oh, look at this. Yep. Pretty good. Pretty good, yeah. I'm lying on his tummy. I think I switched it back to the rig of him sleeping. Yeah. Yeah, very simple episode, but very well done. Proud of this one, too. Oh, kind of proud. Maybe it needed more details with the rig of the characters and stuff, but they got all the ideas that I wanted out of there, and it was still, I think, conveyed everything that I needed to convey. Now, let's see. Now's a good time to tell you, when I was working on it, I was working out of order with the 20 episodes. So there was a couple episodes that I was working on that were not only for season 31, but also season 32 out of order. So since I was going through some stuff and I wasn't happy with some episodes I was working on, I decided to just work on whatever episodes I want to work on. When I get to 10 episodes, pick which episodes are going to be for season 32, and then get back to some of the tougher episodes. And for this episode, originally it was going to be a camera rig competition, but because of it, I decided that'd be too much to work on, and I wasn't interested in doing that for now. I decided to change it to a little bit more lore, where I realized, okay, where's the evil book Evil Sergio had, since he's gone and where to go? So I was like, oh, maybe it went back to Evil Toon City when it was like blown back into it, you know. So let me do a quick episode of him trying to get the book back. So I just had a couple ideas and have that happen. So yeah, there was a point where I had 10 episodes done, but there weren't. It wasn't a full season. Some of those episodes were for season 32, and season 31 still need to be finished. So I did just see what more episodes I can work on to make the other 10 episodes, and what episodes that I pushed off can I go back into working. So I think when I was done with this, I had 10 episodes, and only some of them were season 32. I had to finish filling up season 31. So I know it sounded like a little bit of a mess, but that was what I was just going through at the time. You know, struggling to make these episodes efficiently, and a lot of personal things going on. You know, it was a big mess at the time. It was a big mess. And again, a lot of callbacks, and just wondering if I can really do this and these other projects. But ultimately, I got through it, but we'll talk more about it in the season 32 commentary. You know. Yeah, a lot of simple things here too.
I'm back. I got the evil book. Good job.
I do like the design of the current military guy. Just the way that he looks and his machine suit. I thought it was hilarious.
Of the Sergio Show. Thank you very much for watching. That was a crazy experience. I don't want to do that again. Anyway, I am Sergio Dominguez saying.
But this was the first part of a big mess that I was just trying to go through, you know. So thank you for bearing with me if you have already for these 2 seasons and this commentary. So thank you very much for listening to the audio commentary of season 31 of the Sergio Show. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to. Follow me on my social medias and some other stuff below. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I am Sergio Dominguez saying, have an animated day. Thank you.
Sergio Studios.